Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to
Good
another episode
evening,
of
Mayor.
Fantasy Premier League brought to you by FPL Rodeo. And I'm not alone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, Mayor.
Let me just be sure I'm not the only one in the studio.
Yes, I can hear you, Mayor.
Okay, so for
Good evening,
now,
sir.
it's just me. I'm sure quite a number of people will be joining. Um, Hopefully, we'll be able to hear their beautiful and wonderful voices. We took a much needed break because the this season of FPL wasn't looking very interesting at all, with some very interesting sets of points. It was very interesting to see. So, for this reason, everyone took a much deserved break with the aim of ensuring that, we can re strategize and get ourselves working properly. Interesting to be alone in the studio. To all of our viewers, we just want to remind you that we're a new channel, we're an old community, but a new channel. Please like and subscribe our videos. It's just to help us reach more people and spread the love for the game. So I'll most likely be speaking to myself while the rest of my people join. I can see I have interesting people already. Everyone is popping up here and there, bringing them on stage as they arrive. And hopefully, we can have an interesting conversation because the much needed break, we have all had that. Loads of people have turned to chips. Even the players themselves are taking time off. Some of them have gone on international breaks. But as it stands today, FPL is live and we're back. I'm still currently only speaking to
Can leave the light
myself.
now.
I know
Can leave
there
the
are
light.
quite a number of us on stage now. Please say hi to our viewers. Let's know we can hear your voice and you are no longer having technical difficulties. Anyone else here with me?
Mayor, good evening, sir. Good day.
Okay, I know um, control. I know you are speaking, but for some strange reason, I cannot hear you. Grant, Larry, could any one of you also unmute, and let's see if we can get your voices out.
Mayor, good evening. Good evening,
Oh,
Mayor. Can you
brilliant,
hear me?
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, now I can hear everyone. So I guess I just was the one not hearing us speak. Interesting.
Good evening, everyone. So happy to be back with the and let's dissect FPL. I mean, much needed break is over. So let's get into the meaty part
Yeah.
of it. Let's get good evening to me.
Okay. So our lineup for today is very simple. We're coming off a break, so it's pretty much ease back into the rhythm, like all the players returning from the international breaks as well. Some have done brilliantly, though they are continually underperforming in the league, but they've done their country colors, they've flown the flags, and we even found some interesting people on the score sheet. So FPL Rodeo is coming back in a similar fashion. We're just going to gradually ease in and we'll pick up the pace as the week um, goes by. Now, which much said, I would like to yield the mic and just have us speak about how it has been so far. Is Babajide on the call with us or not? In the absence of Babajide, who would like to do us the honors of looking at the previous game weeks? This would be a perfect time for us to look at the game weeks from the start of the season up until this very point in the season, we've had interesting um, lineups, we've had interesting results, things that you and I never expected would happen. They've happened both in FPL Rodeo and in the EPL itself. So, Grant, Larry, does anyone want to do us the honors? And John is saying hi to everyone. Hello, John.
Hey,
Nice to have you listening in to us.
okay, um, John, good evening. So excited that you are joining us like wherever you are. So yeah, of course, it's been a fantastic season so far for me. Not the best stats, but I think it's something manageable. I still find myself somewhere towards the top part of the league table. And like we all know, FPL is a marathon, it's not a sprint. I'm looking at the season performance so far. It's been pretty much one that has pulled a lot of surprises for me. If we're going to looking at the season in total, I mean, let's just look at the top five people on the FPL league table right now. We have a Babajide of Emilio Con 2.0. He joined the FPL league last season and with the Imloko slogan 1.0, and he seems to have started living up to the moniker as he's sweeping everybody away on the league table. He's one of the two managers to have scored over 500 points, currently ranked number one with 509 so far this season, and it's been fantastic for uh, Babajide. That's the other Babajide that we have in the league. So speaking of the other Babajide, who is going with the Monica Porsche report this season, I think it's just been very pushy with his approach to FPL this season. He's someone who led the table throughout for the major part of last season, and it's just quite interesting that he's struggling to even make the top half of the league rank. And that is just underscore the level of competition that we have in this season. If you remember that we grew uh, numbers from 2018 participants to 32 this season, so there is more competition, and we brought in the big league wigs to come and challenge for the big prize which we'll get at the end of the season. So yes, it's become faster for you to even breathe, much more difficult for you to even breathe in the FPO Rodeo League. And that fierce competition that we've always dreamt of seems to be happening right before our eyes this season. Still looking at the top five, and I will just mention one more person, then I would yield the mic for any other person to also contribute. Who has been the surprise? Who has been the surprise person or surprise manager this season? Who has also been the least performing manager? So I'll just thought this very last point, then I'll use the mic. So yes, for me, the one person who has also shown that when they say that form is temporary, class is permanent. I mean, this person is no other than FA Empire. FA Empire sits second on the league overall. She's the second manager to have accrued over 500 points this season with 501, and she seems not to be resting on her hands. Last, I think she won one of I think she won one of the manager of the month for September, if I'm not mistaken, and she seems to be building up on that. So she's been the surprise manager for me this season. I mean, looking at the fact that she took 1 year sabbatical, I mean, really the much needed break really took a positive toll on her, and she seems to be firing on all cylinders. For the manager that has least performed this season, who, for lack of better words, I can call maybe a flop so far. It's too early days. I mean, someone who has struggled to actually impress me. None that person than uh, Samikis. Samikis Emeka FC is someone that we know is not the best of managers when it comes to FPL. But it's someone we always find the mates half of team. But since the start of the season, he's been wallowing in the relegation zone. Today you see him second from bottom, tomorrow you see him top from bottom. And there seems not to be any glimmer of hope for him to leave that bottom part of the league table is currently with 395 points after 8 game weeks. So that's it for me. Maya, what about you?
Thank you very much, Larry. Interesting that you brought up some names. And as I look at the league tables, I can see that we have some managers sitting very comfortably at the bottom. I know it's been an interesting season, and I think it's about maybe 5 seasons ago that I know that we've had this kind of performances from loads of managers. Because in particular, if you look at the last game week, most of the managers in our league, most managers scored less than 60 points. It's interesting that out of 33 managers, I don't think we have 6 people that scored above 60 points. I don't know. Grant, do you have anything to say about this? Hi, Grant.
Hi, Mayowa. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So you mentioned. I didn't really get you. What did you say?
Most of the managers for the last game week, everyone scored below 6. We have most managers scoring below 60.
Yeah. I noticed that. And good evening again, everyone. I
Good
think
evening.
it is owing to the fact that most of us, well, since the beginning of the season, most of us have been sticking to capping Elena Land, which has been one of the reasons why most of us has blanked. Because for myself personally, if I had decided to stick, even though I went for a differential captain, if I decided to cap Salah, for instance, I would have gotten 15 more points than my point. Then most of us still cap Edinal, and even though we all saw that he was playing Arsenal. So it's just the fact that we don't want to miss out on Edinal coming in and surprising everybody. So it's a no-brainer. If Alan blanks in a game week, it affects more than 50% of everybody. So more than 50% of everybody in the league. So it's not an anomaly that Alan blanked and the points it and the points of everyone in the team was below 60. So it's not an anomaly.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much. So I'm looking at the tables right now, and I'm sure our viewers can see, in spite of how terrible the game week, the last game week was, we can see that there were some movers, and you could see that the top half of the, well, not the top half, but the top 10, uh, most of the managers, performed well. Um, in the top half, Lanre actually had 73 points, which was very impressive. Um, Justin also came in with 65 points. Tunde also had 66 points. If he had 61, but Grant in the top 10, Grant, you had 39. Very interesting. I could see if you had capped Salah instead, you would have had more points. But that would have not still taking you as high as 60. And I don't know why 60 is being the golden number today, but it is what it is. So let's move into what we feel was the standout player for us, EPL player, during the international break. I don't know who wants to start with this. So maybe I should just go back to Grant. So for the international break, who do you think was your standout player?
For the international break, Bruno Fernandes is one player I would pick as my standout player. In the second game against Bosnia, he scored the goal and I think he assisted two. In the first game against, can you hear me?
Oh, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So in the first game, I think he assisted two, or 3 of the goals. So he was involved in more goals than any other player in the EPL. So Bruno Fernandes, I think, is my standout player in the international break.
Oh, beautiful. Tunde, do you want to tell us who was your standout player for the international break?
Good evening. For me, my standout player, I would like to go with Frank. Sorry, with Grant. I would like to go with Frank. Bruno Fernandes was wonderful. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I would like to go with Grant. Fernandes was wonderful. Apart from contributing directly to the goals scored for his team, he dictated the pace of every single game. Like every single point in the matches, he was in charge of the game. He was controlling the pace of the match. He was assisting. He was good with set piece. I think for me, if Portugal can find a reading and make sure there is a good alignment between Ronaldo and Bruno, I'm sure they'll go to the in the next major tournament.
Thank you. Larry, over to you. Who was your standout player?
Interestingly, I didn't catch any of the international matches aside, I think, Nigeria's first game versus Saudi Arabia. But I watched parts of Portugal's win, that massive win. And I think Bruno Fernandes is the one that would be to watch out in the coming weeks. I mean, Man United has failed to actually deliver the juicy points. I mean, the assets this season. But Bruno has been one who has been in the mix of all the actions for Manchester United. And they seem to have a favorable series of fixtures. And I expect he should be in the mix of big XL points. So, yes, he's one to watch out. The other assets though who didn't perform greatly in international matches, but looking at the pictures that they have in the coming weeks in the EPL, they are assets that you don't want to just close your eyes. I mean, okay, even still sticking with the Portugal match, there was Neto who had a cameo performance in that match. It was pretty much lively, and if you look at his performance in the past few game weeks, he's one who has not blanked in the past 4 matches, registering at least an assist or a goal in between. So it's someone who is still having a couple of fixtures that you expect him to perform. And most of the attack for Wolves have come from his angle. He seems to be carrying the attack for Wolves on his head. So I think it's one player that we also want to look at if you are one who is fascinated by differential picks. So I think those are the ones that I can really make mention of right now. Thank you.
Okay. Now that everyone seems to have fallen in love with Bruno's performances, let's ask, going into this game week, what would you advise people to do with respect to Bruno Fernandes? Option 1, if you do not have Fernandes, buy. Option 2, if you have Fernandes, sell. And option 3, if you have Fernandes, keep. So let me start from Tunde as well. So Tunde, what are your thoughts on Bruno Fernandes?
If you don't have Fernandes and you feel your team is still complete, or you have a few players you are not sure, you can replace them with Fernandes, any of them with Fernandes. But if you have a team you think you are relying on and you think you can bank on, I would say you should not buy Fernandes because Manchester United is not a team to totally rely on. And if Manchester United is not delivering, I don't see a reason buying Bruno. And that aside, Bruno, whenever Manchester United delivers, Bruno is going to give you points. Good points. I have to be fair. Bruno is going to give you good points. Aside from that, I would not be certain of getting Bruno, and I don't have him in my team. I don't plan on getting him. That's my take.
Oh, thank you very much, Sunday. Very interesting because Bruno has always been a fantastic FPL asset to own. Looking at last season and season before. So, Grant, what are your thoughts on Bruno Fernandes? Buy, sell, hold?
Yeah. So as for me, yeah, I've always loved Bruno Fernandes. Even this season, even though Man United have not been playing well, I still have Bruno Fernandes from the beginning of the season, and I still have him up until now. So despite being a Man U fan, even aside being a Man U fan, I know Bruno Fernandes is is a very quality asset anytime, any day. In a Man United team that is underperforming, Bruno Fernandes seems to be the shining light. Plus, Man United playing against Sheffield United at home, I think Bruno Fernandes is a wonderful asset to have. Thank you.
Nice, nice, nice. Interesting perspective. Larry, what are your thoughts on Bruno? Hello, Larry.
Hello,
Okay,
yes, I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you.
please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so for me, I think I would like to wait it out for Bruno Fernandes. I will pack the midfield. I've got Salah, I've got Son, I've got Madison. So I mean, I can't even make space for him because even the assets I have at hand, I have assets that you expect to deliver points. So and for Fernandes this season, he has not really given value for money yet, which is not perfect because Manchester United have literally had a very interesting season, for lack of better words, so far. So for me, I would just have to wait it out. I want to see him deliver those points before I commit to any transfer. But if you do not have him, but you can make space for him, yes, why not? I'm looking at the pictures that Manchester United have in the coming game weeks. I think first they are facing Sheffield United, then next Manchester City, which is of course, if I'm Manchester United fan, with this current form, I'll just count that as a loss in advance, my opinion. But of course, after that, there's Fulham, Luton, and then Everton. So these are relatively easy fixtures that you expect him to perform or to be at the heart of the attack to deliver the goals. And so, yes, for me, you can maybe wait till after the Manchester City game before you finally buy him. At least observe it for next week. But if you want to buy him ahead, maybe to beat the price increase, yes, why not? You can. I mean, at least use the match against Sheffield United this weekend as a pilot test or the acid test for Bruno Fernandes. So that's it for me.
Interestingly, Bruno is owned by 17.2%. Interesting, interesting. Okay. So let's look at other assets that are very interesting to own going into the next game week. And without picking anyone, I just want us to give us your verdict of buy, sell, or keep. Okay.
Okay.
So let's look at Erling Haaland.
Please, by all means, keep Elena. I know the question have been on social media, especially X. People have been talking about the price of Erling Haaland, 14 million, and not getting delivering the points. And of course, you can't actually spread that money across Darwin or Watkins or even Isaac, and you still get more value for it. So for me, just like Grant said earlier, the fear for Alan is fear of missing out. You can never tell when you deliver that week. And you don't want to be like someone like me who missed out on this opportunity last season. I mean, he had like 3 hat-tricks last season or 4, if I'm not mistaken. I missed out on 2. The first one I didn't even have him because I was like, oh, he won't even perform. I didn't even buy him. Then few ones after, I think I only gained advantage of the last one. But 2 other ones, I did not even cap because I was expecting to have a very difficult match. I was having a quite a purple patch that period as well, and he delivered. And looking at that history, you don't want to actually throw that away by selling Alan. However,
Brilliant.
if you are comfortable enough, why not? You can buy his twin brother or the one they call B Tech Alan in the banter world of football. That's the Orland of Manchester United. You can just buy him. He's one who has proven himself so far in a Manchester United color. Who seems to be ready to deliver goals at every opportunity. So, of course, we expect Oja to be a very decent backup for Alan if you're trying to switch. With that money, you can spread it and buy Watkins to support, or buy Isaac if he's declared fit to support, or even Darwin Nunes, who seems to have found his groove back this season.
Okay, Tunde, Haaland, buy, keep, sell.
For me, keep I'm keeping Haaland, but I'm not looking at capping it. If I'm to change my mind before the deadline, I'll be looking at taking Alan out of my team, probably bringing in the Darwin Nunes because of fixture. And the absence of De Bruyne is the problem I think Alan is having. And the fact I know De Bruyne is still not back, I'm not sure I'll be keeping him. But still undecided for me. Still undecided.
Okay. Grant, buy Haaland, keep Haaland, sell Haaland. Oh,
I
you.
don't think anything that will make me sell Haaland is maybe if he's injured. Even in the event that Haaland is injured, I don't think I'll be selling Haaland. Selling Haaland has really hurt me in this FPL. The first game of the season against Burnley, I couldn't cap him because I thought Burnley was going to be a tough nut to crack. And man scored 2 goals and assisted the further goal. So I don't think I'm going to be selling Alan. I'm going to keep Alan until Alan can't walk anymore. So that is my take.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. What would anyone have to say about Holly Watkins?
Oli Watkins has wonderful run of games in the next few weeks. So I'm actually looking at bringing in Oli Watkins soon. I just want to see him perform against West Ham United, and maybe I can think about bringing him into my squad.
Interesting. Does anyone want to give me their perspective on Salah? Larry
Um,
today.
okay.
Grant, go ahead if you want to just do that.
Okay. So it used to be when in doubt, cap Salah, which means we all used to have Salah in our team until Erling Haaland came into the picture. I think Salah still has a lot of things to offer, being the key man in the Liverpool squad, their penalty taker, and all of those. So I think Salah is also a must-have for every FPL player. Salah is is my man anytime, any day. So I think I'll definitely be having Salah.
Okay. Let me pick one
Yeah,
interesting.
Salah for me, if I can come in, can I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so Salah for me is one asset that I have loved over time. Yeah. Of course, the popular slogan "When in doubt, cap Salah" is one that will always stay with me. While he has not graced the handbags of most managers this season, he has actually not failed to deliver. I mean, this season he has only blanked in I think one game, if I'm not mistaken. He has only blanked in one game this season, which was against
Yeah,
Tottenham.
correct.
Of course, if not for the interesting turn of events with VAR, that had that assist that led to the goal that was struck off for Luis Diaz. Yes, this season he has no blanked at all. He has recorded, if I'm not mistaken, almost trying to calculate 12 points here. Okay, while I get that, I mean, last game he had 15 points. Prior to that, he had 10 points. He had recorded doubles in 3 games. And at least the first 4 games were the ones that he scored good. So he seems to be back in the mix of action for Liverpool. And of course, looking at Liverpool this season, it's a transition period for them. And Salah will forever be the one that club will rely on to help with the attack. And looking at the one official that he's got, is having a derby against Everton. Of course, a derby match is a fixture that we have known over the years that will not produce that many goals, but you would always want to back on Salah to get a penalty here, assist there. After that, he plays Nottingham Forest, Luton, then Brentford, and these are juicy fixtures that you expect something miraculous or something normal for Salah to happen, which is three goals and assists. And all these nice fixtures lead up to the mighty clash against Manchester City, which is a fixture that Salah would always not shy away from. And after that, he still has fixtures that are just too FDL. So if you're someone who has enough of money in your bank, Salah is one player you would want to buy. His premium is a premium asset at 12.6 million. Of course, people argue that I can use that money to fund Saka or Diaby or Madison or Mitoma, a mix of these other assets. But then you want to have a player that you are sure that come rain, come shine, you get something out of him. And that player for me this season has been Mohamed Salah. Thank you.
Okay, so one other player I was hoping that I could ask a quick question about is, for some managers, they've been able to cash in a lot on Raheem Sterling. Do you think that beautiful form has come to an end, or should anyone still be considering the Chelsea asset?
Uh, Sorry, Mayor, can I take this?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. For me, before now, I would say it and I would say it again. For me, Sterling is literally the player that's going to lead the Chelsea team for this season. And if I see Chelsea picking up from on occasional, though they are playing us now, so I'm not counting on them to really be extraordinary. But looking at the next set of fixtures that they most likely will be having, I think getting a Sterling, it's a goodbye. So far, Chelsea did not have a wonderful season. So far, they've not had a wonderful season. But Sterling has been consistent. Give or take, Sterling will give you 6, 7 points each game, no matter how bad the team is. So I think if you are looking at the Chelsea team area you want to pick, I think it's only Sterling now, probably.
Okay. Thank you. An interesting perspective. Son Heung-min, anyone?
Oh, okay, maybe I'll take that. Grant, are you still on this call? Before
Grant
I
is there.
I'm
jump
on the
to
I'm on the call. I'm on the call, Larry.
okay, before I let you take a son, I just want to drop a few interesting things on Sterling. Yes, while I hear
Okay.
today, I think Sterling is one of the players that have actually stood tall for Chelsea this season. He's been one of the live wires of the attack for Pochettino's team. However, FPL wise, he's not been the best of buys. Of course, he seemed to have gotten big points whenever he shows up. So whenever he shows up, he shows up big. However, those are far and few in between. I mean, this season he has only returned points twice. I mean, FPL points. When you talk about FPL points, like made a goal or assist twice, and those were against newcomers. Luton United 19 points game week 3, 16 points against Burnley last game week, and in between all those, he had recorded 2 points appearance fee. That I call appearance fee. That's all he has gotten. In fact, against Fulham, he did not get any points at all against Fulham. So now, looking at that kind of performance that he has recorded this year, it seems to be like a flat track bully so far. I'm looking at the next set of fixtures for Chelsea. They are playing Arsenal, Brentford, Tottenham, Manchester City, Newcastle. These are fixtures with the minimum being 3 out of 5 FDR rating. I mean, looking at Chelsea this season, struggling to find their feet, seems to have lost the goal scoring boots. Jackson, we don't even know what Jackson is. I don't see Chelsea uh, standing out or winning any of these matches or even convincingly scoring goals. And goals are seem to have been their problem this season. They are in the mix when it comes to expected goals. I think they are among the top 4 teams when it comes to expected goals because of chances they are creating. But in terms of delivering the goals, putting the ball in the net, they are not there. So Chelsea, Sterling is one player that we know that could hardly even get you the goals except when he's on his A game. Looking at the run of fixtures, it may not be the best buy right now. I feel like the purple patch has been missed. For anybody that wants to buy Sterling, I would personally advise that you should wait till after the match against Newcastle. Personally, however, this is football. This is FPL. Miracles happen, unexpected happens. But looking at data before us, I'll say for now, don't further about Sterling. If you have him, you might want to sell and buy Salah. Front, add and buy Salah, or maybe Son. Yes. So yeah, that's it for me. Over to you, Maiwa.
Very interesting perspective. I struggle to understand why you capped off a very brilliant summary by putting both Sterling and Salah in the same sentence. But on to another player that I just mentioned, that is obviously a superstar, Son Heung-min. I don't know if anyone believes that, she is a wonderful asset to have right now in the coming game week. Any thoughts on Son?
Mayor, can I take that, please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Um, I I really think Son is a very good asset to have with their run of games and the fact that Son is playing a more central role than playing out wide on the flanks. So I think Son is a wonderful asset to buy. If Son is because their gaffer has decided to play Son more centrally while Kulusevski and Madison are played out flank. Then with the sum of Madison, I think Son can benefit from the red hot form of Madison being our current player of the month. So I think Son is a good buy. But then, how many players are we going to have in FPL? How much can we even? How much do we even have to accommodate all of these players? Son, Bruno, Salah, Watkins, Haaland. Come on, just have to pick our players and wait for the bad news. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grant. Okay, so let me take a slight deviation and just ask: does anyone believe that Richarlison might be a wonderful differential?
Uh,
Um,
Mayor, I don't.
uh,
Sorry, can I take this
Go
or
ahead.
you taking this?
Go ahead, Tunde. Go ahead, Tunde. Grant
Uh,
can then give us his insights as well. But go ahead,
I
Tunde.
would not pick Richarlison. I'm sorry. I think last season we saw Richarlison score 4 goals and he celebrated, got yellow card for three, and they were all called off as offside. I will not forget last season. Richarlison is too quick to. He's sometimes too quick for his own understanding of the team, and the way Tottenham team is set up now. I think I would rather pick a Madison from a Tottenham and a son from a Tottenham than pick Richarlison. That's just my take on Richarlison. He's more of a team player this season for them. He has contributed to their attack, but he has not exactly delivered goals as much as or points in FPO like Larry would say as much as Son or Madison. So for me, I would rather pick a Madison or a Son than touch Richarlison. Thank you.
Hmm. Interesting take. Okay. So if there are no interesting comments about Richarlison, uh, what do we think about one of the also standout players in previous game weeks? I do not want to say a player we didn't expect, but a player that we did not expect to do as well as he did. Um, Talking about Isak.
Mayo, I would like to pick, I enjoy this topic. Thank you very much. From the beginning of the season, I picked Isaac. If I had my way, I would have capped Isaac all through the season so far. I
How
believe in Isaac.
come?
I saw them. I'm not joking. Isaac has been a member of my team at the beginning of the season. If you can check your stats, I believe in Isaac. So if someone says Isaac is not delivering, fine, I can understand. But for me, Isaac is the player I will pick today, tomorrow, and next. He's blanking. I think the game week where they had a 9 goal scoreline or something, Isaac probably did not deliver as much because he came from the bench. But for me, I still got, I think, about 6 or 7 points for me because he still scored a goal. So I'm going to bank on my guy. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, so Larry, maybe I should ask you this question directly. I don't know why I've chosen to ask you, but what would you think if you had an option of picking between Musa Diaby and Phil Foden? Who would you go for? Looking at the next run of fixtures, by the way. Oh, so Larry is asleep. Grant, Tunde?
So I'm with you. Sorry,
Please
I
go
am
ahead.
back. I had a little network glitch. Yeah. So if you're asking me, okay, for me, I have Musa Diaby in my team already. So it's just like you attacked me directly. So I have Musa Diaby. I could not. I tried to sway away from other Manchester City assets because we understand how rotational Pep becomes this
How
season.
the
Of course,
lottery
Foden.
split, you mean?
Yes. Although Foden has been a mainstay, Charlie, since the injury to KDB, and he has been central to some of the attacks that they have. But somehow Alvarez seems to have picked more than him. So, and Alvarez is forward anyways. Foden is a midfielder. So, we are talking compare midfielder to midfielder. Foden is not one that I think I really want to bank on so far. Personal reference. Looking at even points so far, Musa Diaby has I think for something points. Foden has not yet hit the 40 points mark this season. Last two games have been bland. The last time he recorded any points was against Nottingham Forest, and prior to that, he has had few points in between. So he seems not to be getting the points where you expect him to deliver with the absence of KDB. However, he's a player that you expect that anytime goal scorer or anytime assister, uh, player that will give you an assist. So it's someone that might want to actually consider. But for me, personal preference, DRB, looking at the run of fixtures, DRB has a better run of fixtures. That's Aston Villa than Manchester City. Manchester City has Brighton, Manchester United, and they play Bournemouth and Chelsea and Liverpool, followed by Tottenham. These are games that are classical games that you expect things to go south. Of course, comparing Manchester City to all the teams I've mentioned, you expect them to win these games. However, Brighton seems to have been one of the teams, I mean, was one of the teams that actually beat Manchester City last season. And you expect, and they've been in the mix so far this season, then you expect them to give Manchester City a tough game. Manchester United wants to prove a point. They might be poor, but they always come alive when it comes to Manchester City. Do I expect Foden to deliver? Maybe. But do I want to live to tell the tale? Maybe not. Then they play Bournemouth, which you expect he might perform, and they go to Chelsea. Chelsea versus Manchester City has never had. I mean, since the days of Aguero, I don't think in recent times it's been a nice scoring game. It's always been maybe 1-0 here, 2-1 there, and you never see other players. I mean, so many players get in the mix when it comes to the FPL points. Then Liverpool, of course, can happen. But I mean, you don't want to wait for that long for you to start getting something substantial for Foden. So that's why I actually went with the option of Diaby. And looking at the fixtures for Aston Villa in the next few games, Aston Villa is playing. Aston Villa is playing. Let me see if I can lay my hand on the fixtures now.
West Ham. They are playing West Ham.
West Ham.
Okay, yes. Aston Villa is playing West Ham, he's playing Luton, he's playing Nottingham Forest, he's playing Fulham, he's playing Tottenham, he's playing Bournemouth. I mean, five out of the next six games have FDR rating of 2/5. I mean, you don't want to throw that away and focus on the player who is going to play teams that will always give them a run for their money. So yeah, so the decision to go with Diaby is very easy for me, and it was a no-brainer. Personal preference,
Brilliant.
Diaby.
So before I go to our captain's pick for this game week, let's throw one very interesting differential in there. I believe is son of the soil. He's supposed to be our brother. So for that reason, he will be um, my interesting differential. What does any one of us think about this game week? Okay, this game week, right? Dominic Ayodele Solanke. No, Beaumont is going to be playing Norwich.
Mayor, your description, I was not exactly expecting Sholake as the player you are going to pull out. I was totally expecting Isaka. But fine, all well and good. For me, Sholake, I would like to count on Sholake. But if I'm looking at the Nigerian born player, I think I will be looking at our other brother that knows how to pick one goal or two goals at times, which is Nottingham Forest star player. Awuni. But for Sri Lanka, I can't really rely much on Sri Lanka, but if I'm picking a Nigerian born player, I think I'll pick an Awoni. Saka is on fit. I'm not sure of his fitness for the next week. Uh, but for me, I think I'll prefer an Awoni compared to a Sri Lanka. For a Sri Lanka, it's a 50. Sri Lanka will come in and go out, so I'm not sure yet.
So you don't think it's a beautiful differential for this game week? Or you are just looking at it generally?
I don't think it's a beautiful differential for this game. That's me just being candid. I think I
Oh,
just picked up an advice from Larry now about Musa Diaby, so I'm picking Diaby most likely. I would have an shot in my team. I'm still going to pick my Ireland.
have you
I'm
gone for
looking at
Lapo?
Watson. No, may I have fun. I know how to keep my phone. I think I left that from you the first game because the way you borrowed money from Lapo, I've made up my mind. I've spoken to their manager.
Okay, Babajide, welcome, welcome, welcome. It seemed like we saved the best for last. No disrespect to anyone. Welcome, Babajide. How are you doing? And Babajide is still on his way to join us. Okay, so while Babajide is trying to find his feet, like some of the players we've discussed today, I just would like for us to give our thoughts on captaincy. I'm currently considering us, taking a pick between Son, Salah, Haaland, and Oli Watkins. Who will be your captain's pick? Anybody can go first.
Okay, I'd like to go first. And
Okay.
I have a very weird choice for captaincy this season, for this game week. And something in me is telling me to go for a differential pick. And my differential pick
Are you
is
scared to
Alan.
tell us?
Is Alan. My differential pick is Alan. My differential pick is Alan, and I don't know. I think I'm going to stay with Alan. He has failed to deliver in past game. However, Brighton's game is, I feel, is one match that is going to suit. Is going to suit Alan's style of play. Brighton likes to attack and they leave a lot at the back. They like to attack. I mean, I don't know what Sebi does. I mean, he just likes to be on the front foot, pressing, and careless about the defense. I mean, despite the goals they have scored this season, the highest scoring team with 21 goals. I mean, but their defense has been nothing.
Okay. Interesting. Tunde, captain speak.
Maybe Son. But Salah's derby match versus Everton is one that I want to stay clear of because Everton seems to have found their mojo back. Imagine I was just having a chat on this Paul's chat space, and he mentioned Everton's resurgence, and I think it's important for us to point that out. And one of the players that seems to have stood out for me from Everton's perspective, I'm drifting a bit away from the captain's issue. I just wanted to mention this. Has been Dukure. Dukure has delivered, I think, 32 points this season. He's currently ranked, if I'm not mistaken, one of the top 20 midfielders from over 300 midfielders we have in FPL today. That's a differential pick for people that want to see a differential pick. That's a tip for me to you. Anyways, back to captaincy. Captaincy, I'm sticking with Alan. Maybe I might wake up tomorrow or Saturday morning and change my mind. But for now, I'm feeling Alan.
Okay, beautiful. I don't know if Babajide is ready to speak to us now. If he is, you should please go ahead. Although Babajide is letting me know that his perspective is that these are all fantastic choices. It's one of those game weeks where whatever choice you make for captaincy would be a brilliant choice. You cannot be wrong. Only the outcome would determine how good your choice was. I don't know if Grant wants to give us his captaincy pick from the 4 players: Son, Salah, Haaland, and Watkins. Grant?
Uh, Thank you. My personally, yeah, I won't be capping any of these 4 players. So, but if I'm to pick out of these 4 players, I'll definitely stick with um Erling Haaland, based on the fact that Brighton seem to have lost their mojo at the back. They are they have a new goalkeeper, and with their left back injured, plus Brighton likes to attack without looking at what is happening in their defense. So I think I'll definitely stick with Erling Haaland if I'm to pick out of these 4. But I won't be picking out of these 4 for my team.
Okay, brilliant. So let's go over to Tunde. I know Tunde has some security concerns. So let's hear what his captaincy choice would be. Tunde, over to you. Where's Tunde? Tunde
Grant,
still
please.
with us? Tunde,
Okay.
your
Hello?
captaincy pick?
Hello?
Yes, please. We
Yes,
can
I'll
hear
be going with
you.
Alan. I'll be going with Alan because of Grant's reservations as well. So if the major selection from everyone's pick is going to be Alan, about 60-70% of our FPL Rodeo team picking Alan, I would not like to miss out. That is the only reason. If not, from these 4, I would not like to pick. To be sincere with you, I'll probably pick Kanisa for this game week.
Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Thank you very much, everyone. I don't know how to appreciate your time for being on this wonderful chat. If you've observed, today is one of those days where I have said absolutely nothing because I'm clueless as to how to approach this game week. I did play my wild card and still did not score 70 points. I'm still sitting 10th on the table. I don't know what to do next. I know that it's going to be an interesting game week. Babajide is just letting me know as well that despite the fact that he cannot speak, he is sure that Haaland's captaincy pick for him would speak well for him, except some drastic changes happen at the last minute. So Babajide too is definitely sticking with Haaland. However, I'm going to just take everybody's feedback on these players, not just the captaincy, but I'll be considering. Is Babajide joking, really? Babajide is telling us that he's already taken a -8. I don't know what's going to happen. But then again, it's going to be an interesting week. I said at the beginning of the season that the underdogs will come out strong, and we can see that some people have started to perform. They've started to live up to their name. And it's just been an interesting journey so far. I just want to thank everyone for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. To Grant, to Lanre, to Babajide, to Tunde, thank you very much for your insights. I really, really appreciate your contribution towards this game week. It's going to be an interesting game week 9. And I know that when we come, some would be biting their fingers. It will be another game week where the mighty will stay strong and the rest of us will stay guessing. For the love of the game, the fantastic game of soccer, football, as it's called in some other regions, and for the love of the Fantasy Premier League, this is yours truly, FPL Rodeo, where everything and everything FPL is done. We love you all. Thank you. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Until we'll meet again on our next chat, it's bye for now.